I'm Tiffany Payton, and now I'm joined by entrepreneur and designer Ge Wang, a College of Law alumnus. He began his work as a real estate lawyer in 2012. While working in the field, he noticed how poorly tailored suits were. He took that realization and began making his own suits. And within a year, he launched ESQ Clothing. Ge, thanks so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
So I know a little bit about the backstory behind your passion for ESQ Clothing. Can you tell us more about how your company got started?
Purely as a passion project. If you told me in law school this is what I was going to be doing for a career, I thought I would have told you were crazy. It actually, the idea kind of started when I was in law school, and especially that summer while studying for the bar, is kind of envisioning what I wanted my future path to be, and that kind of. But even in law school, I had some custom suits made for myself, whether that's wearing it for, negotiations or whatnot, and even wearing them to class sometimes. I was always passionate about how I dressed, and for some reason, like suits just never fit me the way I wanted to, like in a magazine or whatnot. And come to learn that there's a lot of factors in that. And the largest one being probably Photoshop, just because nothing is what it actually seems like nowadays. But that kind of got the idea going of like, hey, why don't suits fit me like they do in the magazines? So about a year about a year after practicing, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna try to do this on my own. I was kind of dabbling in both and making a suit here or there for friends. And it got to the point where, work was kind of I was kind of sacrificing work on both ends. So it was one of those, let's kind of just dive all into this project and see how it goes. And that's kind of how we got going.
Awesome. So I know you were born and raised in Chicago, and ESQ is a Chicago company. Have you learned anything new about the people of the city by dressing them? What can you find out about someone by the type of suit they gravitate toward?
For sure. I mean, I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago, so I can't really say I know the city. I never really knew the city that well. But going to law school at DePaul really kind of opened up my eyes, especially living in the area as well. You kind of really get an appreciation for the city itself. And then having been here for over 10 plus years now, you grow to love the city. I mean, I grew up in the suburbs, so I had no preconceived notions of like, you would come down here for like Navy Pier or whatnot, but like you didn't really understand the city and all its neighborhoods. And now I have a pretty good grasp of all of that. And it's kind of doing what I do. I jokingly call myself a master of none because I touch so many people across so many different industries. The same goes with I touch people in so many different parts of the city as well. So it's kind of unique in that like I get to learn a little bit about everything. I'm probably not an expert on any of those things, but at least I get to touch a lot of different things in different parts of the city.
Yeah. So when you talk about different parts of the city, for the Loop example, when you walk around the Loop on an average work day, do you find yourself focusing more on what people walking past you are wearing? Do you ever feel the urge to hand a stranger your card for your clothing?
Yeah. It's been a little weird in the last 2 years, as it's been pretty dead, but it has picked up a little bit. I actually walk to work every day. So I walk through the Loop, or I take the river walk down to my shop every day. So I kind of get to see everything. People watching is awesome in the city, especially every kind of weather except when it's like 95 degrees and 90% humidity. But it's interesting seeing what people are wearing. I mean, you see athleisure a lot. You see guys who are dressed up. In the early part of my career, I would always have that urge of like, hey, here's my card. This is what we do. I try to avoid that. There is some of our competitors kind of give that a bad name or bad rap. We're like, we don't want to chase down our guys. That's not really not our client either. But yeah, I kind of see everything. I mean, I will say 9 times out of 10, it's pretty easy to pick a glaring, something that's glaringly wrong with the fit of their suit. Probably 9 out of 10 times.
Definitely. So as you talked about briefly, with business being a little slow for the past, 2 years, you started your business almost 10 years ago. So
Yeah.
what do you think has sustained the success of your business?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's been, well, it was definitely slow in 2020. 2021 was surprisingly a really good year for us. And the business model is kind of shifted. When it started, it was very similar. It was somewhat similar to, your other custom clothiers, at least in the city. And what they don't want you to know is most people use the same manufacturers, et cetera. So we open up our own we have our own team overseas. We source everything from Italy and England. We hand make everything. So it's a completely different product than what's available. And that's kind of what jump-started our rise about when we made this shift about 6.5 years ago. And I would say being a law grad, I would say our largest contingent of clientele are attorneys, but we have a lot of guys that work in the finance sector. We have guys across the board. In 2021 specifically, we not shifted, but we had a huge rise in weddings because everything was kind of backed up, and we do have a lot of wedding clientele. I would say that's something that we're really experts at in, and it's that's probably the one thing that we are most passionate about is getting the guy dressed right for his wedding. We see so many wedding photos where it's like a rental or it's something that doesn't fit well. And we're just like, that's not a photo you want to look back on in 5 years. Like, man, I wish I could get a do-over. So we're very passionate about our wedding clients, and that's definitely a focus of what we do.
Thank you. So I have another question that you can kind of speak on. So what makes your company different from other suit companies like Indochino or Tom James?
Yeah, I touched on it briefly, but one part of it is the actual product itself. So we don't try to compete with other people in terms of price. We're here to make the best product we can. So again, we get all of our fabrics from Italy and England. I would say the predominant fabric mill we use is Loro Piano, which is very, very high end. We hand stitch everything. We actually have set silhouettes for each guy. So whether you want an English style suit or an Italian style suit, etc., we can make all of that. It's not just going to look like some kid designed it. So that's on the product side. On the customer service side, we try not to be we're not that pushy salesperson either. Because when I was practicing, and not to bash Tom James or anything, but they would just somehow get on your calendar and they know and they just show up with their fabrics, and they're trying to make you a suit. You don't even know how they got there. We try not to do that. I mean, we have a really nice showroom. I would say we have the nicest showroom in Chicago. And we're right at Lake and LaSalle, so we are very readily accessible for most of our clients. And we want you to come in and have a relaxed atmosphere. We don't want to be those pushy salespeople. None of my team has come from really sales. So we're here to kind of we want to be experts in our field. We don't want to be expert salespeople.
Yeah, exactly. So as a business owner, what would you say are some of your biggest challenges?
COVID has, certainly upped the ante there. There's always challenges no matter what, and especially in terms of growth. But COVID has really thrown a wrench into that, whether it's from supply chain or it's from personnel management, et cetera. For us, I mean, I think we've hit a really good stride in 2021. The challenge is always, how are we going to grow year over year? And we kind of see, at least me personally, and kind of the way we look at it, we're looking up in terms of men's formal clothing, because there's a lot of, and one challenge people kind of always say is that we're moving towards a more and more casual world as athleisure really takes over. And I agree, and working from home. I don't necessarily, I'll wear a shirt later this week, but I don't usually I'm not wearing a suit at home. But we have gotten into products like, we have a proprietary bamboo shirt fabric that's odor resistant, moisture wicking, wrinkle resistant, has stretch, so you can wear it for like Zoom meetings. It's great for travel. It's great with a suit, really. We're kind of just branched out into some other things, but at the same time, we think that while you may be casual when you're working from home, whenever you're going to be client facing, at least our lawyers and our finance guys, clients are really going to expect you to look the part now. So I think gone are going to be the days of the polo and jeans kind of look. I don't think that's going to be acceptable in the office anymore. So I think the paradigm is going to shift in our favor, and that people are going to want and have to dress up, or especially want to dress up for, date night and going to events, but they're going to have to dress up when they have client meetings as well.
Definitely. So when you have so much experience with dressing clients, and I saw on your Instagram that you've worked with Chance the Rapper, some Chicago Bears players, including Mitch Trubisky. Can you tell me what it's like working with those high profile people? Is there any added pressure when you know that thousands of people will see your work online and or TV?
Starstruck at first. Now it's kind of like we just treat it like everything else. I mean, this is, again, when I was 25 years old, my first probably big Chicago guy was Matt Forte, and when we still stay close today. And it was, it was kind of being starstruck, right? And then just over the years, I've worked with so many guys at this point where it's just another, we try to treat everyone the exact same. And that's kind of, not just me, but that's our philosophy throughout our entire team. So whether you're a star player for the Bulls, Bears, whatever, or you're just, coming in for your first custom suit and you're getting married, we're going to give you the exact same treatment.
So in a dream scenario, are there any celebrities or Chicagoans that you would be thrilled to design a suit for?
This is an easy one. So like in terms of Chicagoans, the easy one to throw out there is Barack Obama. So if somehow this gets over there, he's the one guy we would love to work with.
Awesome. So do you have any advice for students looking to start a business like yours?
I say, this is kind of advice my parents didn't say to me, but it's kind of like, it was unspoken advice, in that when you're young, just try it, because life is short, and you never want to get to a point where like you look back like, man, I really wish I had more time, or I really wish I had done this. I always kind of just say, take the leap. Granted, don't take the leap without like really doing your research first, but take advantage of your youth, take advantage of the time you have. I say, give it a go. I mean, it's never too late in life to necessarily make a change, but you're going to have more energy when you're younger, like before kids and all that stuff. You're just going to have more time and energy to do things. So that's I say, why not? Like it's your life. When you're young, just try it.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself and your business in 5 years?
We're in the process of kind of moving online a little bit more as we expand our ready to wear, especially this bamboo shirt. This is kind of going to be the backbone of our e-com business. It's a first market kind of product, and we're in the process of trademarking the fabric, et cetera. So it's really unique, and there's really nothing else like it. So that's kind of going to be the push, and hopefully we kind of take that over a little bit more.
Awesome. Those are all the questions I have for you today. Thank you so much for your time. Where can viewers learn more about ESQ?
So our website's esqclothing.com. Same for all of our social media, Instagram, Twitter, etc. So check us out. Try that shirt. It's going to be the one shirt that we call it, the one shirt to rule them all.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Guy.
Yeah, of course.